social media has never portrayed females in the correct way. And a lot of that is due to the fact that before we started viewing females as powerful, innovative, etc. women, it was more of like sexualized for men. Like, how should we portray these women to plead to male stereotypes, which the ideals of a perfect woman shifted decade after decade after decade. So even now, like, there's these stereotypes in social media that just are far from accurate. But I think the way that I look at it is I'm like, that's like 0.5 of the population of like women. Like, not even. Like, they're so I've grown up, and like as I've grown up, I've seen more and more diversity leak into Burlington and leak into just like I've traveled a lot more and be able to see different people, and like it's just like furthermore like reiterated the simple fact that we're just all different. Like, we're all not going to be the same looking. We're not going to look like this one girl on this one ad, etc. And that's kind of like just stuck with me, and it's more of like I think you said before about being more like a self thing. It was more of me being like, okay.
Population, and it's just been shown that you should be, if you're a woman, you should be skinny and you should be tall. Some things that you can't control, which I think is crazy. Like, how am I supposed to grow like 10 more inches? Like, that's not possible. So does that mean that I'm not pretty enough? And especially in the United States, you also see race take like be part of it, and how I just don't see like Latino women being models and being in ads.
Or even when they are, it's like super sexual.
Exactly.
Like, top of Playboy, like, you know, or like the same way for any woman of color, really. Like, you don't really see like a lot of dark skinned women be portrayed unless they're oiled up with like, you know, coconut oil, or like portrayed next to a white man. Like, a lot of that stuff is like, you know.
Also, it's always about being skinny, and it's just
it's always
that realistic.
Like 26-inch waist and the massive hips and the massive butt, and that's just you know for a fact that those people have like a dietitian, a nutritionist, or
they also have the money.
They have the resources.
They have the money. They have the resources. They have like a rigorous dietary schedule and workout schedule and this, that, and the other thing, and they say like, oh, try this tea.
Yeah.
Especially if you see it on ads and everything about the same body shape, just like, oh, well, I guess I'm supposed to look like this because there's nobody else in any of the other ads who looks like me, and that is just hard to grow up with, and having to like understand that your body is your body and you can do, like, it's your choice how you want to look, and it doesn't seem to be a priority on social media. It's more selling product and, you know, being ripped and just having abs and
So as a trans woman looking at like what's online and like just like even just like in like the Burlington community, there's no one that I've found that I can like look up to and like look and go to and talk to about like the things that I'm going through and like what transition is like and like what to expect and like what should I do for surgery and stuff like that. And so I go to like Instagram and YouTube, and like even then there's no one that like I would say that I'm like would connect with enough to like watch their videos or like see their content and like be like, oh yeah, like I vibe with that. Like,
growing up, I hated my eyes, and I hated how small they were because I was constantly made fun of for being Asian, and they say that Burlington, Vermont is the most liberal town in Vermont, but even then I was like approached in elementary school. I was approached by my friends who put their hands up to their eyes and would go like this and say, oh, am I Chinese now? So my eyes have always been something really horrible to me. So I started watching I started watching Asian beauty videos instead of from people in America. And they gave me the idea to change my eyelid, which I have achieved. The only reason I have a hooded eyelid instead of a monolid is because I constantly taped my eyelids in 8th grade and freshman year so that my eyes would look bigger. And I can't say I regret it because I don't at all. I don't at all regret making my eyes look bigger because it makes me feel more confident even though I had to change my body to feel this way.
Everybody talks about it all the time, and maybe if it was just different and how, like, their standards, if it fit their standards, then they would just stop talking about it negatively.
Especially high school boys or high school young men, like they're given this stereotype that they have to be testosterone driven, obsessive males, which is not at all okay and not at all realistic. But this toxic masculinity leaks into how females view themselves and how their significant others can view themselves as well. So it's really just like a growing process, but especially in high school, it's fair to say a lot of people can preach to that and say that it happens a lot. So like the Black community, a lot of Black females asking themselves, like, am I okay? I'm not light enough for a Black male, and I'm not the stereotypical like curly haired, mixed female for a white man, etc. So where do I find that median? And it's also like, back to social media, like, you get this certain view of like what specific Black women should be like. So and growing up in Vermont, like there was a lot more white men around, so it was more like, how do I make myself plead to white men, and like what do white men see as a beautiful Black female? But yeah, growing up in Burlington, it was really white.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even just myself. I didn't really have a powerful Black woman. Well, I did. My mom, of course, beautiful, powerful Black woman, but was navigating her own appearance in a white neighborhood, and we were the first Black individuals to move into our neighborhood. So a lot of it was, a lot of what she was trying to learn and adapt to kind of fell on me as well. And I found myself wanting to look more and more like the white female stereotype.
Like doing makeup and being told by my cousins, like, oh, you'd look prettier if you wore makeup because that's what women in Puerto Rico do. But then at the same time having my grandpa be like, oh yeah, like, let's go kayaking and let's go do a bunch of like unfeminine stuff, and like makeup doesn't matter, like the way you dress doesn't matter, and just like doing something that you like. So I don't know, like Western beauty standards have just shifted me towards what I don't want to look like.
So I know that if I was to be ranked, I wouldn't be ranked above a white person. I know this. That's just how this society sees me, just as a Black Muslim girl. I'm just not beautiful